Good morning. It's time to rise and shine. I am completely coming in without any warning. She's landing without calling the air traffic control again. It's just sometimes I just feel like it's time. Anybody that knows me ought to be used to this by now. So I'm going to go ahead and let this come through and whether you watch it now or whether you watch it in 10 years, it's okay. It's perfect timing. Don't worry about it. You don't always have to be live. I'm okay without a live audience. I just have to do it when it says time. So there's been a lot. It's been a very, very crazy week energetically for myself, for just about anyone that I have spoken with. And I believe that one of the biggest ascension symptoms that we have been having this week has been anger. There's been a lot of releasing lower vibrational energies. The biggest message that I'm getting is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. So my guides just keep giving that to me, is that yes, you sometimes you're in that lower vibration of anger, but anger is a powerful emotion. Anger pushes us. So if you think about the stages of grief, at first it's so lost and so broken, you just can't even get out of bed. And then you start to get angry. And we so often, as light beings, as so supposedly enlightened creatures, we don't want to feel those. We don't want to admit to those lower vibrational energies that come through us. It doesn't feel nice to be angry. I see some. Come on in. We're talking about a lot of it is releasing today. Okay, so as you come in, just if you want to come in, that's okay. But it's a lot of releasing and giving yourself a break. I really just want to come in and tell you to cut yourself some slack today. This is a very, very energetically charged, crazy time to be alive. There is a huge amount of energy in the collective consciousness that is not very nice to deal with. That's very judgmental and encapsulating. It's like this energy that wants to just wrap around everybody on the planet and hold it and keep it from moving forward. And if you think about yourself, you've had times when change was moving in your direction, right? You've got something going on and you're like, oh, hi, Jessica, there's change coming. And part of you goes, for me, I'm usually excited, but there's also a fear in change. The ego doesn't really like change much, if you haven't noticed. The ego likes to settle in. Whether it's comfortable or not, the ego likes to be comfortable in its discomfort. And it likes to just stay in that place. It doesn't want to move forward. It doesn't want to grow. So we're dealing with a collective consciousness that doesn't want to move forward. It doesn't want to grow. It doesn't want to advance into this higher frequency. It just wants to stay in that mud puddle. It's happy down there. It's flopping around, making a mess. And it's happy like piggies in a pig pen. It's just as happy as it can be down there. So as we move forward, and as we try to move into this higher frequency, there is this need to release a lot of those things that put you in that place. So I really relate it to my grief this week again. It's been almost 6 years since I lost him, but I will still fall into it. But the part of it that I fall into these days, if I'm going to get sad, typically turns into anger. And that anger is a powerful emotion. It is not something to avoid. It's not something to bottle up. Stop bottling it up. Don't bottle up your anger. Find a healthy way. Don't just go throwing it at people. It's not nice. You really need to put up some protection and not, fling that anger around at other people, because it's like a psychic attack. Those powerful energies can hurt other people. So just make sure that you're being safe about it. But don't be afraid to express. Don't be afraid to say, you are really making me angry with this. You are really hurting me with this. We have those in our life. Right now, it's like we're being triggered to go into those places where we feel anger, where we feel hurt, where we feel, because we are such good bottlers. We bottle everything up, we put a top on it and a pretty little ribbon, and we think it's done. It's not done. it doesn't matter how pretty that jar is or that ribbon is. You still have work to do, and you can't just bottle it up, because it just stays in there, and it just continues to build up energy and steam, and it's waiting for you to let it go. I have been a bottler since day one, probably in many, many, many lifetimes. I truly, I truly have always been the type. Hi, Lauren. I've always been the type to just keep things inside. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'll do it in all of my relationships. I stayed in an abusive relationship for 20 years because I didn't want to hurt him. So I'm the queen of bottling emotions. And the way that they've given it to me this week, I was like the Tasmanian devil this week. I was like a whirling dervish of energy. And I was angry, really, really angry about things. And I didn't even know why I was angry. I was just angry. Good morning, Lisa. So what is it in us right now? I'm getting this from a lot of people where suddenly this big anger pops up and they're like, well, where's this coming from? I don't even know why I'm angry. It really is an ascension symptom. It really is part of this releasing of lower vibrational energies. Anger is one of those things that as light workers, we feel guilty over. We feel guilty, and guilt is the worst part, okay? So let me just tell you something. Anger, when expressed in a healthy fashion, is a very powerful tool. Anger is not necessarily a lower vibrational energy. Anger comes from that really high, if it's expressed properly, it can be an ingredient in the whole love soup. It really can, because anger pushes us into action. So when we see things going on in the world that we're like, that is so unfair, and we feel that anger, and then we think, well, that's lower vibrational, I'm not supposed to experience that, I'm just going to bottle up. No, 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 no. There are things going on in the world that will pull up some really, really powerful emotions in you. And you need to justify that in yourself. You need to accept that as a part of your being. If you remember, and I know not everyone that watches this has Christian belief systems, but there are instances where you will see where Jesus flipped the tables, or different. Anger is not a sin. Please know that your anger is not a sin. It is not something to hide. It is not something to bottle. It is a part of the soup that you are. It deserves to be seen. It deserves to be acknowledged, not pushed under the rug. Because when we push under the rug, that's where the guilt gets us. We feel guilty. Let's see, I feel like I'm bad at handling my... Yes, most of us as light workers are very bad. I don't like the word bad, but we have a difficult time letting these emotions show to people. We want to come in all love and light, smiling, and just Miss Mary Sunshine. I can be Miss Mary Sunshine a lot, but I have my days when I'm just angry. And this week has been a big anger week for me, and I'm getting it from a lot of people. Release. Exactly, Terry. I'm getting it from a lot of people. So I won't go... I remember Steve used to get really angry at stuff. He'd be screaming. It wasn't pleasant sometimes, but he would get angry at his computer and he would cuss it out all the time. Things like that. He would get angry at stuff. And he told me, he said, I got it all in me. I got to let it out somehow. I'm not going to get angry at people, but I do get angry at stuff. And I get that. It's taking it to a place. Hi, Michael. It's taking it to a place where you can release it, where you can allow it to have its expression, where it can say, this is why I'm angry. I have a right to this anger. No, I don't want to hurt anybody with this anger, but I cannot take it and just bottle it up and act like it's not there. Because it just stays. It doesn't go away. Whenever we take anything, ill-equipped is a good word, whenever we take anything that is what we would consider bad. When you're a little kid and you get angry about something and your parents tell you you're being a bad girl or a bad boy. And so you learn pretty fast, well, I can't be angry around people because that's not acceptable. And that's really what we were taught. My generation, for sure, we were not allowed to have strong emotions. In my home, there was no having strong emotions. Usually if I got hurt or cried about something, then people got angry at me. So I learned to bottle it and not let it come up. That little girl in me has been showing her face all week. She's been like, what are you doing? Like, she wants to have a good temper tantrum. She really does. How many times do you watch kids? They're hilarious, really. And they're really angry. They don't bottle it up. They throw themselves on the floor. They kick and scream. We're talking toddlers, 3, 4. They haven't learned how to control it yet. My oldest, who also was Jessica, was when she was about to, let's see, I had a newborn because Mac was very small. They're only 19 months apart. So Mac was really small. Jess was maybe 2 years old. And we were in the drugstore and she wanted something ridiculous. I don't remember what it was. And the answer from me was, no, we can't have that today. And right in the middle of the store with me with a newborn, she's on the floor, kicking and screaming, everybody in the store looking at us, looking at me like I'm the worst mother in the world. And I'm like, what do you want me to do here? I'm picking up a toddler, I've got a newborn, and I'm at the store, and I didn't even get the stuff that I went in there for in the first place and she was good at that. Man, she was good at that. She chased us out of more restaurants from the time she was a newborn, but she let that anger show. She didn't hold it in. We don't need to teach our children to hold in their strong emotions. Strong emotions are actually very, very powerful. They are, the anger is the inner warrior. It's that part of us. Lisa, too many kids have tantrums. I work around kids. Yes, they do have tantrums, but the trick that I found with tantrums, because I raised 6 kids and helped with 3 stepkids, and I was always a nanny, and I was a child care worker, and I was a daycare. I was all that stuff too, Lisa. The thing is if you don't expect them not to express those emotions, because they need to. They need to let it out. The trick is to take them away from their audience. That's all. Take them into a quiet room. I know when I was working as a daycare worker, and this is just practical stuff for you, Lisa, because I know you work with kids. I used to take some old paper, scratch paper that both sides had been scribbled on, whatever. It was useless. And I would turn that angry child into a paper shredder. I'd give it to him, a whole bucket of paper. And I'd say, just sit here and rip paper until you feel better. It's amazing how much ripping paper fixes anger in small children. They love it. They're little paper shredding machines, and they feel better. So find a way for you and for these little children that when you're feeling the anger come up and that little child inside of you needs a way to release it, don't bottle it anymore. Don't just keep shoving it down. Don't teach your children, don't teach your inner child that they don't have a right to their emotions. Because that's what happens. Like I'm 55 years old. And I still have emotions stuffed down inside of me from the time I was very small. And so I'm still working on healing that little child and letting her bring up these emotions. Just bring it up. And so in this time of ascension, back to that. Good. I'm glad you guys like that idea. In this time of ascension that we're in right now, we are working into a place where we've never been before. We're going into this place where we are really creating a perfect environment for that higher self, that true self, that most beautiful part of you to exist in this human form. And the anger takes up space. Those bottled emotions are just taking up space. Usually around the solar plexus, you'll feel that energy. That little girl is still in there and she's just holding it in and she wants to kick and scream. Trust me. So go someplace by yourself. I get in my car, I go out in the mountains. Let me just tell you something. Your guides and angels, God, if that's who you choose to follow, source energy, oneness, does not mind when you yell really loud. As a matter of fact, I can see them just standing there, just like holding it in, like they want to have a good giggle, because they really do understand that we are in a very difficult energy, very dense, very difficult. We have gone through a lot of suffering. We've gone through a lot of pain. Every one of us has a story, and I'm sure we have a number of things that we can tell that would just, break us all down if we heard the pain and suffering that we've been through. And so you've got the stuff inside of you. You are still a little child walking around with that scuffed up knee, the stubbed toe. You're still that little child that needs the attention, that needs to be able to let it flow. When we let our energy flow, whether it feels like anger or love or whatever it is, when we let it flow, hello, Conchetta, nice to see you. when we move into that flow of just releasing, and what did I call this? Release, release, release. We get ourselves back into the flow of love again. It's like we can't really stay in that flow that takes us to that beautiful place where everything that we've ever, that beautiful energy that you've been longing to get into, all you've ever wanted in life since you were born was to be truly, truly loved, to feel yourself back at home again, which is pure, perfect love. That is everyone's goal, pure, perfect love, because that's the energy that you come from, and that's the energy that you feel the most comfortable in. But our lower vibrational, or these other things that we haven't worked to heal, to release, they hold us out of the flow of pure perfect love. So it's releasing. Go out. If you want to do like me, you find yourself a place, you can go stand in a mountain someplace and just scream it out if you want to. Let it go. Release, release, release. And more physical than you've probably done yet. There is no guilt or shame or blame. Do not feel guilty for allowing yourself to let go of anger, all those lower vibrational. Don't feel guilty for it. Sometimes it'll come out with other people. I know. You can apologize. It just sometimes, I open my mouth and it just plop. My poor kids sometimes. Dirty dishes in the sink, whatever it is that just sets me off. They're learning to understand that mom's just releasing. It's okay. Let her throw a couple things. Let her have a little temper tantrum. She'll come back. She'll be fine. I'm just as human as anyone else. Apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry for really, kind of letting that go on you. And go out in the woods someplace and just let it out. Cry if you have to. We've had some difficult times, guys. I'm in that, for me, that middle of July through September 6th is a very energetically, emotionally charged time for me, because it was 6 weeks of cancer with Steve. 6 weeks, that's it. And then into that grieving period. So I do have some difficulties, pretty much. I can always feel it coming. I'm working my way through it, but I'm only telling you that because you guys have that too. Sometimes you'll have stuff come up and you don't know why. Why do I feel so angry? Yeah, there are people, Lisa, I see you, I think your mom does that too with her good drawing paper, her good painting paper. She rips it in four, so she doesn't, my grandmother was like that too, or she didn't want to waste paper. We're talking paper that is already going to the shredder, so you might as well let yourself sit there and tear it up, or give it to a child to tear up. It just saves you the trouble of having to put it through the shredder. Sometimes shredded paper is good to have, right? My kids are making paper mache. Shredded paper is great. So just whatever you need to do. The Christmas season is hard for you, Jessica. Yeah, I think that we have those times, right? We all have those times where we've talked about it before. And I don't want to go deeply into physics, but, time really isn't linear like we think. Like we think of it as a straight line. This happened in 1800. This happened here. This happened here. This happened here. It really is all just right here. And you are always in it. So even though it's been almost 6 years since that trauma for me, when that time rolls around, it's like this interdimensional experience. I don't know what it is. It's like it's my opportunity to revisit it, and whatever is left over inside of me, if I haven't let myself, all of the anger from that grief, whatever it is, it starts to bubble up to the surface. So be forgiving. Be forgiving of yourself. Be kind. What would you do with a little child if they were hurting? You wouldn't yell at them. You wouldn't make them feel guilty for hurting. You would just say, come here. Let's just scream it out for a minute. Let's find a way to release that energy. Sometimes taking a hard run, sometimes taking a hard walk if you can't run. Sometimes, there are ways that you can let it go. See, feel that resonates. Yes, Jessica, I really feel like we all need to face that. If it's something that you don't know, why am I facing this right now? Oh, I have echoes. It's like these echoes, they just keep coming through from other experiences that I've had, whether it's in this lifetime or another lifetime, however you want to believe. And those things will keep coming up in cycles. We have ancestral energy that we're trying to release. The earth is trying to release a lot of negative energy. Some of us went into a meditation not too long ago, and it was actually blood on the earth from the slaves, and sometimes it's blood on the earth from Native Americans, and sometimes it's blood on the earth from the Civil War, and sometimes, we've had, as a collective consciousness, we have had so much pain and suffering on this planet. So sometimes it's something that you have experienced, and sometimes you have come back through to help release ancestral energy. So just be with it. We can't release it if we don't allow it to come through. So I'm angry. I don't even know why I'm angry. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to allow it to just be experienced through me. And then as it does, it's like you're this filter. It comes up through you, and your light filters it into the upper frequency. Believe that. It is what we are here to do as light workers. So we can pull it back to our own little private little lifetimes, and we can also say, wait a minute, I actually came here for this. I hold a high frequency. I've worked hard to hold this high frequency, and the reason why I'm here holding this high frequency is so that I can help the negative energies that this poor earth is carrying around to filter through me and come into the light. Mother Gaia is very grateful for each one of you walking the planet, trust me. So, yeah, we have been through the ringer, for sure. For sure. Transmutation, alchemizing. We are alchemizing those lower vibrational energies into a lighter frequency. And as we do this, we're helping the earth to progress through this very difficult transition. So sit with the kid on the side and talk to them calmly, not yell at them. You don't know if you have anger issues or anything. You're exactly right. Some kids do. I raised one with serious anger issues. Came into the world angry. Lisa, I know exactly what you're talking about. And sometimes all we can do is keep loving them until they can work it out. Sometimes it literally takes the brain developing to a place where it can handle something. And so a lot of times it's just time and patience. Man, it took a lot of years. Around 13, 14, 15, I started really seeing a shift in him. But it took that long for the brain to get to where it could handle those heavy things. So I agree with you. Thank you for all your input today. So, and sometimes, Lisa, sometimes it's only that one person. It's only one person in our lives, or two or three. We may not get that sitting down. Kids don't always get that parent to sit with them and really hear them and allow them to just be in their energy. So that's a gift to have someone like you that can just sit with them like that. And it changes lives. It changed mine. It changes lives, absolutely. So I'm so grateful to people who can work with children and help them to be in their energy and be okay in that energy. It's very powerful work because they are our future. They are here for a purpose. So well done. So why don't we, anybody that wants to stick with me, I've got a few here. Why don't we do I get Sherry Seymour today for lunch. So I'm getting ready to go meet Sherry. Some of you know her. So we're going to go have a little lunch in the arts and crafts community here in just a little bit. So I don't have a lot of time, but I have a few minutes to go into a quick releasing for anyone that wants to join me. We're just going to clear and release energy. That's all we're setting our intention on. And it is safe, completely protected. Everyone that comes in is completely protected. We're each in our own safe little bubbles. So asking Archangel Michael to come in and put each one of you in a beautiful bubble, all sealed up, so you're completely safe. And in that place, if you have some pent-up emotions, if you have the need for a good cry, anything that you need right now, if you're feeling a lot of anger, a lot of hurt, grief, whatever it is, you are safe to let that come out in this safe place. So take a big breath. Mother Gaia is assisting the earth. We're going to get some beautiful earth energy. And you're putting your feet down. Imagine your feet on the hard-packed earth. Even if you're in the middle of the city, your feet right now, if you look down, are on hard-packed earth around a beautiful little hearth, a fireplace. It's like a copper pot. It's a metal pot, maybe cast iron. And it's hanging in the center of these beautiful stones, great big stones, ancient stones. Lauren, let's let that go today, okay? Let's work on releasing some energy so you can start getting back into the flow. Okay, so as you're there and your feet are in that beautiful earth, hard packed, look down at your feet. You see them? They're bare. You might have some moccasins. And I want you to just stand there now. And I want you to allow whatever needs to come up to come up. You may not know exactly what it is, but your higher self and your inner child know exactly what they're trying to work through. So just let it happen. And breathe. Take a couple of big breaths. Bring it all the way up. Pull it from your toes. Feel that earth energy and pull it all the way up your legs and into your spine and all the way up your spine and into the neck, the shoulders, the heart area, every one of your chakras coming up through, clearing them so that they get spinning perfectly. And just keep breathing. Just keep letting it come through. And if you catch it anywhere, sometimes you'll feel where that energy just gets stuck. That's where they're doing the clearing work. So we're calling in your team. They know exactly where to go. Might be in the heart, might be the solar plexus, might be the root, might be in that second chakra, the sacral, might be the womb area, whatever it is. Might be up in your throat. A lot of times we get a lot of blocks in the throat. Wherever it is, I want you to just focus that energy right where you feel it. And just stay with it for a minute. And whatever might come through, sometimes there's strong emotions. Just let it. Don't try to stop it. Stay with it. You are being gifted with such huge love energy right now. Love works right on through. It just burns right through all that pain and suffering every time. Big breath. Don't forget to breathe. It can get stopped up. Keep breathing into that belly. As we're standing there around that fire, I want you to imagine that you have a pen in your hand. You have a big piece of paper. And anything that comes to you right now that you're ready to let go of, I want you to see yourself writing it down. Might be old relationships, something that happened, somebody told you something that hurt. Might be some abuse, might be some bullying, whatever it is. Write it down. There's some big weight lifted off the heart for somebody. I felt that shift. And up into the throat. So they're helping you to find your voice again right now. It's time to speak your truth. Nobody deserves to live in pain. You don't deserve to be treated that way. Very good. Pull that energy up through the throat. Big release there. Now, if you've written something down, you can see it. Just use your third eye. You can see where you wrote it. You can feel the energy of it. It is something that you are so ready to let go of. That fire is burning right in the center. You can step forward and just give it a toss. See what happens. I see them just being tossed in and they're burning. And these beautiful sparkles come up out of the fire. They're being released into the light. Beautiful, sparkly energy. And as that energy comes into the light, it begins to sprinkle back down on us. This beautiful, gentle rain of sparkly energy, golden energy comes down on your crown. You can feel it hitting the top of your head. And as it does, it comes down through pure source energy, beautiful, perfect, pure love and nothing else, raining down on your head. And as it does, it goes down through every cell, every chakra, every part of you gets filled up with this beautiful love. That's all there is on the other side. There's no judgment. There's no judgment in anything you've ever done or said or felt. Absolutely no judgment. You are free to experience this lifetime any way you choose. They're hoping that you'll choose to experience it through the lens of love. They're hoping. It's time to let go of all that suffering. So as it rains on down, it just comes all the way down through the throat. Lots of energy in the throat again. Just keep breathing. And it's moving on down through the heart, through the solar plexus, through the sacral chakra, down through the root and down your legs. And it's just clearing up any residuals left over from what you've released. All the way down the legs and into the feet. Feel that energy right at the base of your feet. All the way down into the earth, and she's thanking you for allowing her any excess energy. She will take it gladly. And we're sending energy through all that beautiful energy that we're moving right now. We're sending it to the earth and to all of its inhabitants, to every plant, to every rock, to every animal, to every human, to all of it. Spreading that light, healing. We need to heal all of that pain and suffering that's been going on for so long. Just clearing it away. Clear away the need to suffer. Bringing all of them the opportunity to move into the light. It's just by holding that and anchoring it. You give them, they go, oh, what was that? And then they start to wake up. So well done. We don't know how many we help when we do this, but I know it's many. Thank you so much. Beautiful energy right now. Just take it in, enjoy it. You can keep it, wrap it up. It's like a gift right there at your belly. Keep that with you today. Asking Archangel Michael to protect each one of you as you go out and about your day. Love in, love out, nothing else. You are completely protected, completely safe. Feeling at home in this love energy. This is home. This is home. Enjoy it so much today. I love you guys. Please be easy on you. Be more forgiving. Don't be so hard on you. Take good care of yourselves today, and I will be back soon. Take care.